Nobody tells you what happens when a pit bull chooses you. Not when you pick them, but when they pick you. These dogs sit in shelters every single day, not barking, not begging, just waiting for someone brave enough to look past the reputation. Most people don't. Some won't even walk down the same hallway, and the dogs, they notice, they remember, and somehow they still hope. So today, we tried something no one had ever done at this shelter before. We didn't choose the dogs, we let the dogs choose us. No calling their names, no reaching out, no treats, no pressure. Just people sitting quietly on the chair, waiting to see which dog would walk up and decide, you're the one I trust. What happened next left everyone in that room in tears. Before we brought the first dog in, we gave everyone one simple rule. Do not move toward him. Do not speak first. Do not reach out your hand. Just sit. Wait. Let him decide. If he comes to you, you will know. And only then, only after he makes that first move, you may gently respond. Because these dogs have already been through more than most people realize. Some of them have been returned. Some were feared. Some spent years in shelters, waiting for someone to understand them. People often look at them and see danger, but today, for once, things would be different. Today, they get to lead. They get to choose. No pressure. No expectations, no one calling their name, just a quiet room and a decision only they could make. Then the door opened, and the room went completely still. For a moment, nobody even breathed, because the next few seconds would reveal something none of us could predict: who he would choose. He walked in slowly. His head was low, and his eyes moved from one face to another around the room. Everyone stayed exactly where they were. No one moved, no one spoke. They all remembered the rule. Just sit, wait, let him decide. He walked past the first person, then the second, then the third. For a moment, it looked like he might just keep walking, but then he stopped. He turned his head slightly and looked toward the corner of the room. A man was sitting there quietly. He hadn't said a word. He hadn't moved at all since the dog entered. The dog walked straight toward him, slowly, calmly. And when he reached him, he leaned his whole body against the man's side. The man looked up at the staff, surprised. It was clear he hadn't expected that. But the dog had already made himself comfortable, pressing closer and settling beside him. Within a few seconds, he curled into the man's side like that was exactly where he wanted to be, like he had already made his decision. And in that quiet moment, everyone in the room understood the same thing. The dog had chosen his person. The man sat there for a long moment, one hand resting gently on the dog's back, not saying a word. Then, quietly, almost to himself, he said,
"Thank you for finding me, buddy. Thank you for finding me."
And just like that, it was decided. No paperwork, no forms, no signatures. The dog had already done that part. We're going home. The second dog came in, and the energy in the room shifted immediately. This one moved differently, slower, more cautious. His nose stayed close to the ground, reading every scent like a map of the room. He circled once, then twice. Everyone stayed still. Then he lifted his head and walked toward a woman sitting near the window, a woman who had been holding her breath the entire time. He sniffed her hand, then her knee. Then he sat down and looked up at her with the most patient, steady eyes.
Hey, buddy. You smell me, huh? Yeah, it's me.
She let out a small laugh, tears already forming. For a moment, it felt like he remembered, or maybe he simply recognized something in her, something she didn't even know she was carrying.
You remember, don't you? Good boy, you're going home.
She reached out slowly and touched the top of his head. The dog leaned into her hand, and the room stayed quiet for a moment longer. "Take your time," someone from the staff said gently. "He's all yours now." She looked at the staff and asked quietly, "Can I name him now?" "Of course you can." She paused for a second, thinking.
Milo.
"I want to call him Milo." The staff smiled. "Milo sounds like it fits perfectly." She looked down at him. "You like that, buddy? Milo?" The dog wagged his tail once, slow and steady, almost like a quiet little yes. The next person who walked in wasn't sure they were ready. Before the session, they had told us quietly, "I've never had a dog. I grew up being told pit bulls were dangerous. I'm here because I want to be wrong about that." They sat down in the middle of the room, hands flat, breathing slow, trying to stay calm. The dog came in and completely ignored the first three people. He walked past them without even slowing down. Then he stopped right in front of this person. He sat down, looked up, and placed one paw gently on their knee. The person froze. For a second, they didn't move at all. Then their shoulders dropped, and then the tears came. "You're bold, huh?" they said softly. "Come here, come here." The dog stepped forward and rested his chin on their chest. "There we go," someone from the staff said with a smile. "Perfect fit. Look at you, official now." The staff handed over the leash and said simply, "They're going home, and they're going home with you." The person looked down at the dog, still a little overwhelmed. "Congratulations," the staff member said with a warm smile. "You two found each other." One woman came in late. She had driven 3 hours just to be there. She hadn't told anyone why, but you could see it in her face. She needed this. She sat in the far corner, a little apart from everyone else, and waited. Then the dog came in. He walked past the first person, then the second, then the third. He passed 5 people in total without stopping, and then he reached her. But instead of sitting beside her, he climbed directly into her lap, all 45 pounds of him. He just climbed right up and stayed there. "Hi, sweetheart," she whispered. "Aren't you a darling?" She wrapped her arms around him and buried her face in his neck. "Oh my goodness, you're so soft. Hi, love." For a while, she didn't say anything else. She just held him. "That's the welcome kiss right there," one of the staff members said with a smile. "I couldn't have asked for better." "She knows you're hers," someone added gently, "and you're hers." The woman laughed softly, still holding him close. "Yes, I am," she whispered. "Yes, I am." Before she left, we gave her the usual care instructions. A quiet space for the first week, plenty of water, keep her on the same food she's been eating, let her decompress slowly, no big gatherings, no loud noise, and if anything feels off, even something small, call our vet. "The number is right here," we told her. She nodded carefully, listening to every word, almost like she was trying to memorize it all. The next morning, she sent us a message. She made it through the whole night, not a single sound, she wrote. "Want to see?" And there she was, still sleeping, curled up tight, completely safe. And according to the next message, she just keeps getting closer every hour. Some mornings start a little differently now. For one man, mornings now begin with a dog who refuses to let him out of his sight. Every day, he plants himself right in the kitchen doorway, serious face, just waiting. "You're very serious about breakfast, buddy," the man laughs. He got a proper water bowl now, a fancy blue one, and he seems very pleased with it. And this is his spot by the window. His bed is there. His basket of toys is there too, the ones he pretends not to care about. But he cares about them. We all know he does. For another family, the first morning home was something they will never forget. At some point during the night, somebody decided the best pillow in the house was a human chest. So that's where he stayed. Taking it slow today, they said with a smile, just cuddles, maybe a small walk later. The dog stretched, turning it into a full performance. Save some of that energy for later, buddy, someone laughed. And that laugh, light, easy, and completely real, sounded like the beginning of a brand new life. One man looked down at the dog who had chosen him and said quietly, "You really picked me?" "Yeah," someone from the staff replied with a small smile. "He really picked you." He was quiet for a moment. Then he said softly, "It means everything to me. It really does." He reached down and gave the dog a gentle pat. "Be a good boy." And somehow, that was enough. More than enough. A woman came in wearing a bright yellow jacket and sat near the door. She looked a little nervous, but she was smiling. The dog walked straight toward her. "He picked you," one of the staff members said softly. "Hi, sweetheart," she said, already laughing. "Hi, oh my gosh, you're so perfect. Hi." She got the welcome kiss immediately. "She knows you're hers," someone said with a smile. The woman laughed through her tears. "I got you," she whispered. "I got you, baby. I got you." There was one moment, quiet and completely unplanned, that no one expected. A dog had already chosen his person. The paperwork was almost finished. And then the man looked down and said, almost to himself, "I didn't come here looking for this. I really didn't." He paused for a moment. Then he said softly, "But I think maybe he found me before I found him." He looked down at the dog again. "You knew, didn't you? You just knew." The dog looked back at him with those same steady, calm eyes. After a second, the man smiled. "Yeah," he said quietly. "We're going home. Harper, 3 years old, spayed, up to date on everything." "That's her. That's really her." The woman looked down at the dog in her lap and smiled. "Feels like a dream," she said softly. "You're really mine now, huh?" Harper had climbed up all by herself, and she hadn't moved since. "I guess I'm just furniture now," she joked, and she said it with the biggest smile we had seen all day. One dog, small, fast, and absolutely fearless, ran across the room and launched himself straight toward a man who had barely even sat down. "Oh man, you're fast," the man laughed. "That's the seal of approval right there," one of the staff members said. "Guess so," the man replied, still smiling. "You're coming home with me, buddy. Hope you like car rides." "He looks ready," someone said. "Ready for everything." The staff handed over a simple guide for the first week. Give him a quiet space to settle, stick to regular meals, let him breathe, and schedule a vet check in the first few days. The man nodded, repeating it back to himself. Quiet room, steady food, breathing room, vet. By day 3, the dog was already a little braver. "Watch this," the man said with a smile. The dog made a small pounce, then looked back proudly. "We're doing good, huh, buddy?" he laughed. "We're really doing good." Then came the moment that stopped the whole room. A pit bull walked in, big, slow, gentle, and passed every single person, one by one. He walked past the first, then the second, then the third, until he reached the very last person sitting against the back wall. A person who had barely whispered when they introduced themselves. Someone who had been sitting completely still the entire time, eyes down, hands folded. The dog walked up, sniffed once, and then laid down across their feet. The room went silent. Then that person, slowly, carefully, bent forward and placed both hands on the dog's back and cried. Not dramatically, not loudly, just quiet, steady tears falling. "Hi, sweet boy," they whispered. "Hi. You came right to me, huh?" "Yeah," someone said softly. "Yeah, he did. You're coming home with me." "That's beautiful," one of the staff members said quietly. And it really was. By the end of the day, every single dog had chosen someone. Not randomly, not by accident. Each one had walked past people, circled the room, read the air, and then found the one person who felt right. The one person who was ready. The one person who, maybe without even knowing it, needed them just as much. These dogs were never dangerous. They were never the monsters people feared. They were just waiting for someone patient enough to sit still, waiting for someone brave enough to let them lead, waiting for the one person who would look at them, really look at them, and say, "I see you, and I choose you back." If you've ever walked past a pit bull in a shelter and felt afraid, I understand. But I hope today changed something small in you. Because behind every one of those faces is a dog who has already forgiven the world for being afraid of them. And still, every single day they choose to love anyway. That is not dangerous. That is one of the bravest things I have ever seen.